Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I want to do a video for beginners. This is my third time trying to do this because, yeah, apparently I suck at this, but that's beside the fact. Now, I tried doing it at home or on my desktop, and it just didn't seem like it would come across the right way. But and I couldn't ever follow the script, so I got a script now. I'm not stupid the third time. But yeah, so this video is for beginners. What I wanted to do is talk quick about myself since fairly new channel. I've been riding for about 25 years off and on. Went through a rough sketch in life to where I was going through a couple relationship issues and got over all that hurdle, started life over again, bought everything, sold everything. But anyway, back to riding now. This is my second R1 in the last couple years. This is my fourth R1 total. So I've had 4 street bikes. All of them been Yamaha R1s. I love the R1s. The way they feel through the turns and the way they respond is unmatched in my opinion. I've test ridden Hondas, I've test ridden Suzukis. I have not test ridden Kawasaki or Ducati. So I didn't really like the Kawasaki because it seemed like it was too big and bulky. This is an R1, but it feels like an R6, to be honest with you. But anyway, so the purpose of this is for beginner riders. This is for beginner riders who have never ridden before. So prior to my experience with street bikes, I grew up on dirt bikes. I learned how to balance on dirt bikes, not a bicycle. Dirt bikes is where I started out at. I highly recommend someone who has never ridden before to start out on some type of dirt bike or a small CC street ride like a Grom or which today, back when I started, they didn't have Groms. They had like just cruiser bikes. So like a cruiser bike, a 500cc, a 250cc, like a R3 would be good, Yamaha R3, something like that. That's what I recommend you start out on, okay? And we'll get into that in a minute. So another thing I want you to do is do your research on your motorcycles, do your research on your tires, do your research on everything, from every part, from every piece of equipment you need to ride with, which we'll go over in a minute. Do your research on everything. Don't just take one person's opinion. Everyone's got certain kind of brand bias. I'm biased towards Yamaha, but I do like other bikes. I wouldn't mind having other bikes. The new Ducati V4S or V4R is a beautiful looking bike. I hope to add a Ducati 998 to my collection one day. But yeah, I encourage you to do all your research you can. Talk to different people, go to different dealerships, sit on the bikes. Don't test ride them. If you're a beginner rider, don't test ride them because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble that way.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
But I also don't recommend riding other people's bikes. I'm not a big fan of that because if something happens, you're liable for whatever happened to that bike, right? So we'll get right into it. The first bike, for your first bike. Now the purpose of this video is for street bikes, not for cruisers or anything else like that. Although, having said that, like I said earlier, if you can get a smaller CC cruiser, a smaller CC dirt bike, anything that can give you seat time in a smaller engine size for these bikes or on the dirt or whatever, that's the best place to start. Any seat time is good time, okay? That's what you need to do to learn. And there's a lot of variables to that, right? It's learning how motorcycles work in general. On dirt bikes, you use the rear brake. And on street bikes, 90% of your braking's in the front brake. So that's a transition from dirt to street, but it's a fairly easy transition. But also your clutch lever, which is up here, and proper maintenance and things like that. So these are all things you need to learn going into it. You can't just, you don't know what you don't know, okay? And going into these things, you need to do your research. You need to start out slow because what I'm gonna talk about here in a minute is the reason why. So the myth of why beginner riders stay away from a 1000cc street bike. And I'll throw up a couple videos in this to show very beginner riders who thought they could jump on a 1000cc street bike. And
all right, chat, she's finally here. The R1, my 1000cc beginner bike. They said it's too much power. I say it's not enough. Time to show the neighborhood a real rider.
We've all seen it in the marketplace ads, on eBay, on Motorcycle Trader. Someone will go out and buy a 1000cc street bike and it'll scare the hell out of them, and they'll sell it within 1,000, 1,500 miles. I've seen one as low as 700 miles, and they turn around and sold it. So the 1000cc street bikes, you need to work up to that. That's just my recommendation. It's your money. You're welcome to go do whatever you want. It's your choice. It's your life. All of this is your choice. You can do whatever you want to do. This is just my recommendation for beginner riders, because a lot of people get out there and they get hurt because they don't realize the power of these things. And a 1000cc street bike, the speed you're carrying and how fast you can go, everyone loves that. But it's the obstacles on the roadway you have to watch out for. It's all these different variables. I could name thousands of different situations that if you don't know what that bike's going to do, you don't know how to react to that speed, you're going to freeze up. And fear is the mind killer. You're going to get scared. You're going to freeze up. I can't tell you how many people I've seen don't even know where the front brake's at. They hit the gas and they see something pop out in front of them, or they see a turn coming up, they literally freeze. And they don't know where the front brake's at. And they'll wreck, get in trouble, whatever. So yeah, I highly recommend just starting out on something slow enough to where you can figure out how motorcycles work in general, get the feel of it, get the feel of the tire and things like that. But next issue I want to talk about bylaws. What I mean by bylaws. So in the road riding community, motorcycle community, don't drink and ride. It's just like don't drink and drive. Anytime you get on these machines, they're fun. You combine that with alcohol and you think you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, you're going to do something very, very stupid. You're going to wish you did it. So, and then don't run from the cops. That is pure stupidity. You're going to be riding above, because you're thinking you're going to be scared of getting caught, so you're going to be riding above what you should be riding, your rider skill, what I'm talking about, and you're going to wreck, or you're going to get somebody else hurt. And then when the cops catch up to you, they're not going to show you any ounce of leniency. So always be respectful to cops. Even when you get pulled over for a ticket, these things are not made to go the speed limit. Plain and simple. You're not going to go the speed limit. Even cruising speed, you're already doing 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. That's cruising speed on these. So you're already going to get a ticket. So just keep that in mind. Be respectful of cops that pull you over. Yes, sir. No, sir. Take the key out of the bike. Put it in your pocket. Let them know you're not trying to run, and be respectful, because it reflects on the rest of us. If I get pulled over by a cop who's treating me like an asshole, he's already had a bad experience with another rider that ran from him or treated him like an asshole, and that's not cool. I will add one more to that. Ride your own ride. That is a big one, because it's sunny out here today. My eyes are getting kind of watery. But ride your own ride. That is the most important lesson I can tell you right up front, because you're a beginner. Don't get influenced into doing something you're not comfortable yet of doing, okay? If you need to practice, get out there on your own and practice, okay? Get out into a parking lot, kind of like what I am here. I'm at a school parking lot, so I can film this video, but there's plenty of room right over there. I can get out and practice turns, I can practice braking, all kinds of things. If you get out on the highway with your friends, they're at a higher level than you, so they're going to be going a lot faster, braking a lot harder, doing wheelies, things like that, things you're not prepared for. So if you are out there doing or with them, don't do what they're doing. Only do what you're comfortable doing. Ride your own ride, okay? Riding gear. So when you get into riding, you're going to need riding gear. Don't think you're going to come out here and ride without riding gear. I've got, like today I've got a long sleeve shirt. I'm just going right down the road, going right back home. Am I taking a risk? Absolutely. But for the purpose of this video, that's what I chose to wear. And I am wearing riding pants. I'm wearing riding boots. and I've got my gloves and my helmet right over here. So you're going to need riding boots, you're going to need riding gloves, you're obviously going to need a helmet. I don't care what state you live in. If the state, like South Carolina and Florida, you don't have to have a helmet. That's pure stupidity. You're going to end up dead. Plain and simple. You could drop your bike, you could be pulled over at a stoplight, fall over, hit your head on the pavement, and concussion. So always wear a helmet. Always wear a helmet. Other things like airbag vests. There's new technology out there now with airbag vests. Any kind of pouches or carriers. Like I brought a little backpack or what do you call it? Track pack, as I call it. Things of that nature. So equipment, understanding your bike and getting familiar with it. So like I talked about, understand where the brake's at. Understand that applying the brake, how to apply the brake, and I think that sounds stupid, right? Well, just pull the lever. No, it's not like that. If you freeze up and you get spooked and you jab that lever, some bikes like this one right here, you'll flip over. It's that strong of braking. So you need to learn how to squeeze the lever. Don't jab it. Just like on a car, you don't jab the brake pedal and lock all the tires up and you go sliding into somebody. You squeeze the brake pedal, you get stopped a lot quicker that way. Clutch lever, you need to learn where the clutch lever's at. You need to learn the clutch play. Adjust it a little bit. It's got 2 points of adjustment up here by the handlebar, and usually all of them have an adjustment down there right here on the side of the engine case. See where the cable comes in. Now if it's a hydraulic clutch, that's a little different. But these are things you need to learn. Learn about your chain, learn about the tires, which I'm going to do another video about tires, just specifically on tires. Tires have to get heated up for them to function right, okay? You can't just hop on a bike, cold tires, and go around a turn 90 miles an hour. It's not going to happen. So, first things to do on your bike is read any kind of manuals. Like I said, this gets back into research. Read any kind of manuals. Understand the gas. Understand when you start to run out of gas. How many miles have you got before you run out of gas? You need to understand the clutch lever like we talked about. You need to understand the chain, okay? All these little things you need to do your research on. Talk to the dealership, whoever sold you your bike, if it's a brand new bike. And if it is a brand new bike, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, all brand new bikes come with feelers. It's these little peg that sticks out right here. Get rid of those. You're not going to need those. One day you finally get to leaning over and you snag something, or if that thing touches the pavement, it's going to scare the crap out of you. It's probably going to make you wreck. So they call them feelers. Take those off. You don't need those as a beginner or an advanced level rider. You don't need them. Tires. So we talked about tires briefly. Like I said, I'm going to do a full video on tires and tire pressure. So you got your bike recommended tire pressure, and then you got the tires recommended tire pressure. And they're usually pretty close, but basically, the more the tire is pumped up, the harder they are, and the faster you're going to go, but it doesn't flex as much. So if you're going to take any turns, it's not going to have any flex to it, and you're probably going to wreck. So what typically people do is they lower the tire pressure down a little bit, like 3 to 5 pounds, not a whole lot, okay? And you can do your research on this to see what's best for your tires and your bike, but I run a little bit lower than what's recommended. Mine's recommended at 34, 42, 34 in the front, 42 in the rear. I run 32 and 38. So a couple pounds different, but that way the tire flexes and it has a good contact patch to the street. If the tire is so stiff, it's not gonna gel, or it's not gonna flex with the road, okay? Plain and simple. Which I'll go into that in the other video. Clean your bike. So I see a lot of people doing where they'll take their bike to the car wash and they'll spray it down and they'll put all this degreaser on it. And problem with that, okay, some components on bikes, most components nowadays are aluminum, which don't rust, but there are some like stainless steel or steel like grommets or bolt holes or whatever, that's going to rust over time. And then tires. Do not get any chemical on your tires. That's very, very important. Not chain lube, not degreaser, nothing. Absolutely no chemical on your tires. Because that stuff will soak into your tire, okay, and it could cause you to fall. I'm not saying it will, I'm saying it could. And when you go down and you're doing everything perfectly right, you're going to think, well, what the hell? I was doing everything right. You could have got chain lube on your tires, you could have got oil on your tires, and it seeps into the tire and could cause you to fall. So I highly recommend when you wash your bike, try to protect your tires. What I usually do, I wipe mine down after every ride with Windex and a degreaser for like some of the chain or around the sprocket and things like that, where you get a lot of gunk build up. I'll spray that down, but I always kind of keep everything away from the tires. And when you're spraying on chain lube, people just spray the heck out of it, and they're just getting all over the tires, getting all over everything. Come on, man. Don't do that. That stuff is seeping into your tire, especially if you do that on more than one occasion. And then when you go to lean one day, it's just going to slide right out from underneath you. And you're going to be left wondering, like, what happened? What did I do? It's your tires. All that chain lube you sprayed on your tires, and it done soaked in. So if you're going to spray your chain, you need to have some kind of a backer plate or something to where it's not, the overspray is not going to get all over your tires, okay? Now, riding. If you're riding by yourself, like we said, ride your own ride. This is the best thing I want you to do as a beginner, is just start slow. Get into an open parking lot and just practice braking, practice accelerating, get the feel, because every bike is different. 1,000cc bike, when you get on that throttle, it's going to want to pull up with you. And if you've never experienced that, you're going to freak out. So get into somewhere that, like I said, a wide open parking lot, and practice getting to know your bike, okay? And when you get out and you ride by yourself, there's going to be all these different situations you need to make mental awareness of, okay? When you're riding by yourself, you have to watch out for driveways or side roads. People don't see you as well as you think that they do. You're not in a car, okay? You look like a little bitty tiny skinny pole or something like that coming at them. They're very liable to miss you, okay? So when you're riding, you always need to watch out for side streets, driveways. Treat everything as a potential problem, okay? Everything, even behind you. A lot of people take their mirrors off. Big mistake, because here's why. If you have to stop at a stoplight, or if someone stops in front of you and you have to stop quick, guess who's coming behind you that didn't want paying attention? Somebody that's going to just smash you up into the other car behind that's in front of you, and you're going to get sandwiched. So keep an eye on what's going on behind you. If I see somebody that's not paying attention, if I'm paying attention in my mirrors, I see them, they're not paying attention, they're coming at me kind of quick, I'm getting off the road, I'm getting out of the way. Let them hit the car in front of me, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, and also when you're riding on the interstate, it's good to know who's behind you, because you could have another bike coming up behind you really quick, and you go to change lane, he just collected both of you. You see what I mean? So I highly recommend keeping your mirrors. A lot of people don't do that. Spend the extra money, get some mirrors that are cooler looking, because I know the mirrors that come on the bike are not exactly they're not exactly cool looking, right? Riding in groups. All right, so this is going to be, I'm going to go delve into this on another video, because I've been seeing a lot of videos where guys are just taking their friends out, doing stupid stuff and everything like that. When you're riding in a group, just ride and chill. Don't do anything stupid, because like I just pointed out, you got people riding beside you. They could be flying up in your lane, because a bike obviously isn't as wide as a car. So if I'm over here in the left part of the lane and the right part of the lane's open, he could think he's coming flying up. Try to fly right by you. You go to get over, bam, he collected both of you. Wheelies, I've seen a problem with that. which I'll go into in another video. But when you're riding in a group, you want to ride staggered. So I got a line here and a line here in a parking space. I'm riding over here on the left part of the lane. The other guy in front of me, he's not riding directly beside me. He's riding up in the right part of the lane. See what I mean? It's staggered. And the reason why that is, if I need to swerve, there's nobody beside me. Or if he needs to swerve, there's nobody beside him. I've also got time between the next person, so it goes me, him, someone else. I've got time now between me and the person in front of me to brake if I need to brake, and vice versa. I've got the person behind me's got time. You see what I'm saying? So if you're riding in a group ride, you want to stagger. Don't ride directly beside somebody. Don't ride directly behind somebody. It's a bad, bad idea. And don't ride in the center of the lane. And the reason why I say that is, where do cars usually leak oil? And coolant. Coolant is very, very viscous, okay? It's very slick, especially on the roadway. Cars that are leaking coolant, cars that are leaking oil, where's the engine at? It's right there in the middle of the car, middle of the lane, okay? So don't ride in the middle of the lane. Riding position. So riding position is pretty simple. I mean, it's not for a beginner rider, it's not really hard to mess up. It's really more for moderate to advanced technique, which I could do another video on. But basically, you don't want to be riding with your arm stiff and see where my arm is stiff and it's putting all that pressure on my wrist. You want to use your legs and everything to kind of keep you upright where your arms are kind of loose, all right? Use your legs and your lower body right here wrapped around that tank. You want to be nuts up against the damn tank, but at the same time, you want to have your legs to where they could squeeze that tank and help keep your body upright, okay? A lot of your lower body, people don't understand that when riding motorcycles. Your lower body does a lot of the work. Your arms, they're kind of loose, especially when you get to learning how to take turns. Your arms are going to be bent that you're not going to use them. You're really not going to use them. It's really mostly your lower body. Changing seats, changing which side of the seat you're going to be doing, okay? Riding for distance, don't ride, like I just said, don't ride with your arms straight. It's gonna kill your wrists. I ride all day sometimes, 8-9 hours, mostly nonstop. I may take a small break here and there, but it is important to take breaks. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like your arms are getting tired, your wrists are starting to hurt, pull over, take a break, get some food, you know, grab a beer, something like that. Riding through curves, like I said, that's more for moderate level, okay? But you are going to have to take turns since you are a beginner. There's turns out there on the road. So what I want you to do is take it slow, okay? Don't let anybody push you. Don't let even the person behind you. You could have somebody blowing their horn at you because you're going too slow. Hell with them. You ride your own ride because what's safe for you, okay? Take your time. And the main thing you need to learn about a turn is if you're going into a left-hand turn, okay, you want to start on the outside and work your way inside and then out. Outside in, inside out. Make sense? You're trying to straighten the turn out, all right, as much as you can. That's the main principle when taking a turn. You don't take a turn exactly staying in one spot of the lane, because I guarantee you're going to freak out when you can't stay in that spot of the lane. You're going to think you're doing bad, and you're going to drift off the road and get into a wreck. Try to straighten the turn out. Outside in, inside out. Make sense? Taking corners. So I put all these notes down. I put a lot of these are moderate to advanced level. Taking a turn is it takes some skill. I'm not going to lie to you. So just take it slow. And when you take a turn, what you want to do is practice getting your butt off that seat and kind of positioning for the turn, okay? If I'm riding right at you, all right, I'm sitting directly on the seat. If I see a left-hand turn coming up, I'm shifting over a little bit, and then that way I can lean off a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? If you sit directly upright and then try to lean in, that's not good. All the weight is center of gravity. You want to get your butt over just a little bit and then lean over just a little, okay? And you can practice doing that, because when you first do it, it's going to feel like you're going to fall off the bike, okay, to be honest with you, especially if you're going slow. If you're going slow and you go to do that, it's going to feel like, well, damn, I can almost pull the thing over. That's because your lower body, once again, is pulling that tank. It's top heavy now. It's pulling that bike over, okay? So practice getting your butt out of the seat, moving it around to take certain turns. And that's as far as I'm gonna go with it for a beginner. We'll talk about, in a moderate video, we'll talk about throttle, we'll talk about braking, trail braking, all that stuff. Throttle sensitivity. So throttle sensitivity, you wanna be, a lot of people change their like on an R1, first thing you wanna do is flash the ECU, right? Which is gonna give you more power because they detune the hell out of the, Yamaha specifically, detunes the hell out of this bike to keep people from wrecking. And that throttle, now that I flashed the ECU on this, is extremely touchy, like 1/8 of an inch, and that thing's ready to go. So getting used to that throttle sensitivity. Now on this one, it comes with electronics where you can turn that down. I've got mine set to the most power. I want it that way, just that's the way I like to ride. When I give that thing throttle just 1/8 of an inch, you can't even probably see it on the camera. That's all it takes, and this thing is going. So get used to your throttle sensitivity on your bike. It's probably, if you got a brand new bike, it's probably detuned for emissions and made to where you have to give it a little bit more, okay? And taking turns, I'm going to tell you now, when you go through a turn, you don't let off the throttle, okay? When you go into the turn, you let off the throttle before the turn, but once you're leaned over, you give it just a little bit of gas, just that 1/8 of an inch. And what that does, it helps settle the rear. And that's as far as I'm gonna go on that. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but take it slow, don't do that yet, right? Braking. So getting you, 90% of your braking is in the front. I'm not even gonna touch on the rear brake on a street bike because that is an advanced level technique. If you're pulling up to a stoplight, you need to use a rear brake, use the rear brake, okay? But going through turns, don't touch that rear brake. That is an advanced level technique. I'm not gonna go into it in this video. You can use the rear brake, you can do it, but it takes a lot of skill and a lot of getting used to that, okay? Because what it's gonna do to the bike. If you're going hard into a turn, you hit that rear brake, it's gonna upset the rear end. And if you're not used to that, you can ride like that, but if you're not used to it, you're gonna freak out. So don't hit the rear brake. 90% of your braking's in the front. You wanna squeeze that brake. You wanna squeeze it, okay? Do not jab it. If you jab it, that's how you do stoppies. They'll jab the brake and it'll lift the bike up, and then they let out just a little bit and kind of balance it, right? Don't do that. I'm just telling you how they do it. I'm not telling you to do it, but you do whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to flip your bike, okay? But I'm telling you now, you're not ready for that. This is strictly for beginners. Like I said, you want to squeeze that brake, all right? A lot of these bikes have ABS now on it. This one had ABS on it. I didn't like it. I removed the ABS. I like mine. As soon as I start squeezing that brake lever, it grabs. That's what I like. But anyway, lane position, we talked about that. So here's another thing. Nobody on the road likes you. Just go on and get that plugged into your head. You're gonna see people that do want you to rev the bike, and they want to see you do a wheelie and, you know, get you to do things you probably shouldn't do. Most of everybody else does not like you, okay? They don't like street bikes. They don't like people lane splitting, which is where, you know, you got a car here and a car here, and you're going right between them on the white line. Don't do that. You can piss people off, like, even if the law in your state allows you to lane split, people still get pissed off at you for doing that, because it's like, oh, well, you're getting ahead of me, even though it makes no sense. It's like, what do you care? You're in a car, you got to sit there. I'm not. But anyway, I don't lane split just because of the negative persona around it, and it just pisses people off. Cops, don't piss cops off. Stop pissing cops off, okay? They're the ones that's gonna write you a ticket. I mean, if you're respectful, every cop that's pulled me over, I remember one particular instance on the Cheryl Hollis Skyway years ago. He let me go with a warning. I was doing over 100 miles an hour through a turn, and he let me go with a warning just because I pulled over for him and I was respectful to him, okay? That goes a long way, especially for the community. If you treat a cop like an asshole, what's he gonna do the next street bike rider he pulls over. He's going to treat them like shit because of you. So don't do that. You're going to have people that, sad to say, I've had people try to fight me. I passed them and they didn't like to be passed. I scared the hell out of them, or they're just mad I got in front of them. I don't know. People act stupid out there on the road and they'll want to pull over and fight you. I'm not kidding. I've had to pull over at a gas station, get off the bike, and the dude was ready to go. So I was like, let's do it. And finally he backed off. But this is the world you live in. Okay, people are not going to like street bike riders. I have no issue against anybody. I had a lady brake check me on the highway the other day. It's bullcrap. There's no reason to brake check me. She just brake checked me to do it. There was nobody in front of her. I did nothing to this lady. And you can go back and look at it in my previous video. Harley riders, some Harley riders don't like street bike riders, and vice versa. I'm not that way. I like all types of riding. I've come up on Harley riders in the mountains. I've scared the crap out of them. They ran off the road, and I felt so bad about it because I didn't mean to do that. But I'm always respectful to everybody that rides because I want a Harley one day myself. I want an adventure bike one day myself. I want to be able to get on a KTM and ride from here to Alaska, for example. There's all different types of riding, okay? Don't let them think that you're just about one type of riding, and don't be that way towards them, okay? Be respectful. We're all out here just trying to ride and enjoy the good weather and just enjoy riding. So increased speed equals less reaction time. The faster you go on these things, the more likelihood you're going to have something happen, okay? It's the risk to reward ratio, all right? When you get into a car every day, you're taking a risk. You may not come home to see your family again. That's just the reality of this world we live in, right? When you're on a bike, that risk jumps up a lot, because there's no protection on these things. There's none. When you get on a bike, you need to understand you're taking a huge risk. And you can make a lot of stupid decisions that increase that risk. Doing wheelies down the highway. And I'll show you in the next video, one guy was doing a wheelie down the highway and he wrecked. He almost got run over by cars. His bike flew across 2 lanes, took out a buddy of his who wasn't doing anything. He was just riding. And he almost got run over. How would you feel if something you did got you to wreck and then got your friend killed? You need to ask yourself that question before you do something stupid. The faster you go on these things, the less reaction time you have. If you're lane splitting, you're going down the highway, you're thinking you're just flying like hell, 180, 190 miles an hour, you run out of road very quick, and objects come up on you very quick. And 9 times out of 10 on the highway, they do not see you coming. You're coming at them so fast, you could look like a bug on the windshield, and next thing you know, you're up in the rear seat with them, dead. So I'll post some videos up of an example, but the faster you go on these things, the less reaction time. So you really need to pick and choose where. There's a place and a time for everything, and you need to pick and choose where you're going to do this stuff. If you see a section of highway and there's nobody on it, you only got a few seconds before you catch up to somebody running that speed. That's just the facts of it. So think about that. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. You're your own person. You're your own adult. You can do whatever you want to do, right? I'm just telling you how fast it's going to come up on you, and you're not going to be ready for it, all right? Anybody can twist the throttle on these things. It's so easy. Anybody can do it. So it's the fastest way to get killed, plain and simple. Purpose. So when you pick out your bike and when you want to get into motorcycle riding, what's the purpose of you doing it? Do you want to ride to look cool? You see a lot of YouTube influencers, they look cool. They're out there doing wheelies, doing stunts, flying down the highway at 150 miles an hour. It makes it look so inviting and so easy. But everything like I just said, anything can happen on the street. Anything can happen. Cars pull out in front of you. Cars change lanes in front of you. Other bikes, cops, you name it. Obstacles in the roadway. If you're riding 150 miles down the expressway and you hit a pothole, you're going to be sliding for a long time to think about how messed up your bike's going to be and how messed up you're going to be. Why do you want to ride these things? That's the main question you need to ask yourself. Do you want to ride to look cool? Do you want to ride it to enjoy? Because riding to look cool, I can tell you right now, that is not something you're going to notice. You may think you're looking cool, but you're not going to care, and nobody cares about whether you look cool or not. It's all about enjoying the ride. That's what it's about. And once you get advanced enough to where you can take turns, you're going to see how almost addicting that is. Like the feeling of it is something else, especially when you get fast enough or on a track. Because when you're on a track, it's like you're flying, okay? Because you're going fast, number one, and you're taking these turns, and that feeling of the G-force pushing you into the seat and pushing your bike down, it's a really awesome feeling. That's what I love about it. I love being able to get out and go to the mountains. If I want to, I can go wherever I want to go on these things and just stop, pull over, have a beer, go back to the mountains, get my lean on, whatever. It does not entertain me to do wheelies going down the highway. It does not entertain me to do stoppies. You're going to mess your bike up that way. It does not entertain me to do burnouts because you're going to pay for a new tire, okay? When you do burnouts and stoppies, you're going to blow your fork seals, you're going to tear up your rear tire. That's going to cost you more money you didn't really have to spend. You just did it because you thought it was going to do something or give you some kind of satisfaction that it's not going to give you. Don't be influenced by influencers. So there's lots of YouTube influencers out there. Some of them are stunt riders. Some of them do a lot of stunt riding. They've had time to practice. If you want to do stunt riding, you want to learn how to do it out there on the open street, that's not the place. Place and time for everything, right? Parking lot. And go get you a bike that you can learn how to do that stuff on, because you're going to wreck. A couple of guys come to mind. Brian 636, he's a very good stunt rider. I like watching him do his stuff because he's got a lot of control. And Gixerbra, that's another good stunt rider, in my opinion. He does a lot of cool things. But I can tell you, or I guarantee you, that they took their time and learned how to do that stuff. And they probably wrecked in the process, right? I'm sure they have. But yeah, just take your time and learn how to do that stuff before you get out on the open street and do it. Because it is going to get you hurt. It's obviously going to mess up your equipment, your machine, and it could get somebody else hurt. So learn how to do it first. And another thing about influencers, a lot of the things that they do it for clicks, right? I could think of a couple YouTubers, it's a business for them. So their business model is to try to make things look as cool as possible, to be inviting to you as possible, to get you into the community, buy some merch from them, whatever. Don't try to do what they do. Ride your own ride. Take things slow. Learn as you go. And I promise you, you'll be more appreciative of your bike and the time that you took to learn it. Filter out the good information from the bad. What do I mean by that? Some people are going to give you bad advice. Some people are going to give you good advice. How do you know the difference? You cross-check it with other people. You cross-check it with other things that you read. Like, once again, do your research. If one person tells you to lower the front end on your bike, but they don't tell you why, they just say it looks cool, that's going to mess up your handling, okay? And you, like I said, this video is for beginners. If you don't know how to set up your suspension, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. So learning how to set up your suspension, especially for track day, that is a science. I haven't even figured that out yet. That's one of the things I really want to learn when I get out on the track and try to do more of it. That's my goal. My goal is now is to do more of track time. There's all kinds of things that they're going to tell you to do. Cross-check whatever they tell you with somebody else. Make sure that verify it. Make sure it's right. Okay. Now, everything I said in this video is my recommendation. I said it at the start of the video. You guys can do whatever you want to do. You guys can go 180 miles an hour on your brand new bike. You guys can go buy a 1,000cc bike. You guys can do wheelies. You guys can piss off cops, all these things, but should you? I mean, what's it going to get you, right? I highly recommend take the time, put in the time, put in the seat time. You will see a difference, I guarantee you, okay? Even if it's on a dirt bike, even if it's on a Grom, you will see the difference, I promise you. So with that, I'm gonna close this video here, and I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and like and subscribe. I'm really trying to build this channel. That's why I'm doing these videos, but also to help people. I really enjoyed growing up on dirt bikes and then coming to street bikes. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I did the things that I did. I'd made mistakes, but luckily I didn't wreck. I've ridden pretty fast in the mountains, and I've come close to wrecking many times, but I didn't. So I think a lot of that is because of luck, number one, and number two, my experience riding as a kid, coming up to a teenager on dirt bikes. I've run out of the road and gone on the grass, and without having that dirt bike experience, probably would have laid it down, but I didn't. So yeah, take your time, enjoy your time. It's a journey, and be safe out there on the roadway.